Hello everybody, today I'll show you how to create your own 3D mockups to present your label design. In Cinema 4D, in New Project, press middle mouse button to escape perspective view and middle mouse button on front view. Now Shift V to enter settings and in back tab choose your bottle reference. Now place it in the center and make a little transparent. And now choose pen tool and make the shape of your bottle. Imagine that our bottle is split in half, so we're trying to draw this slice and try to keep the thickness of the glass stable. At the end, do not connect final points and press E to enter move tool. At X make it 0. Shift V and delete this picture, we don't need this anymore. Press middle mouse button and at perspective view press middle mouse button again, press Alt and choose lathe. So our bottle is ready. It's a little bit ugly, you can see it at display and grow shading. You can see it's a little bit angular. To adjust this, we need to choose subdivision and make it a little bit higher. 100 is good. And now our bottle is good, so rename it. Hold Alt and drag and drop this bottle and rename it to label. So now we will make a label from this. Front view, edit, delete these points, we don't need this, and delete these points, we don't need this too. Choose move tool and move these points a little bit out of your glass, so it will not overlap at the next steps. Now escape this view and you can see this is our label template. So we need to make some materials. It will be our bottle material. Drag and drop it here and copy. Hold Ctrl and drag it and rename it to label. This will be our label. Double click on this material and choose for example paper. We need to see what's going on, so select Redshift render view, press play. So I made this sketch of a label. It is square on the black background and two masks as you want on JPEG or PNG. Now drag and drop here our label. You can see it is rotated 19 degrees, so adjust it here. And now we need to make our mask. Type sprite, drag and drop it here. So we need to enter here shader input and out color to surface. This will be our mask and choose path. So our masks are rotated 19 degrees. I prepared them so, and they JPEG on black background and PNG inverted. So if you choose a JPEG, you need to make settings in opacity calculation to choose it from color intensity. And if you choose PNG, so you make from alpha. Next, we'll adjust the bottle material. I choose tinted glass for now. So to see what's going on, we need to make some studio lights. Something like that. I find these photos in internet. So you can see we have two lights from the sides, one front light and light from the top. So we need to recreate this in Cinema 4D and Redshift. So in front view, we need to make a rectangle and make it something like 200 on 200 or 2000 on 2000, and make some adjustments on position on 1000, so it on the bottom, adjust it in right view, rotate it holding shift on 19 degrees. Make rounding, something like that. Press C to make it editable, and right mouse button, choose disconnect and delete these points. This will be our paper background. Press these arrows to adjust positions of the axis and drop it on the bottom. Selected rectangle, press Alt and drop it in extrude mode. Adjust the movement of extrude on this position, something like that. And now move this in the center. So this is our paper background. Make some divisions. We need to make it smoother, so just make it in spline, make it something like 0, so it's very smooth. Next step, we maybe need to make it a little bit bigger and move it, something like that. Select bottle and label, press Alt G to group it and rename it. This is our bottle. This is our background. Drop it at the bottom. We need to make some lights. First, I make dome light and open Redshift render view. Something happened. So hit play, zoom it, so we can see what's going on here. Dome light, make it spherical white light for now, and you can see some light and reflections. Now we need to make adjustments of this light, so rotate this a little bit, and in dome light choose path for your HDRI map. I have this map. It have more reflections, more realistic, but now it's a little bit darker. And you can see this is my HDRI map. Switch it off so we don't see this. So this is map with lights. But now it's a little bit dark, so we need to adjust and add some more lights. Switch background off, I don't need to see this in render view. Choose area light and adjust it. This will be the top light. So dome light distract a little bit, so if you don't want to see it in render view, and unclick enable background. Now scale up area light a little bit and maybe intense multiplier, make it 3. Move it up. And make it bigger. So now it's a little bit brighter, and we need to make other two lights. Redshift, material, this is for background, so we can see what's going on. And choose some material, for example paper, and kill the backlight for the 0 and a little bit roughness, and reflections, make it rough 2, and maybe change some color for blue maybe. So I want this scene to make more soft. Edit reflections, something like that. So now edit our background, make it a little bit bigger. Select rectangle and move it this point. Now let's make some lights. It's too intense. And rename it. This is our top light. Next, we need camera to see what's going on. Choose standard camera, and positions and rotations make 0. Enter camera view. You see we now in the bottle, so adjust it a little bit, scale it out and position it so we can see in render view, and hold this lock, so when we move in our perspective view, this will not change. Drop it here. Paste protection tag. So select background, dome light and top light, and press Alt G, and we will make it in group and name it scene. Next step, to make another light. This will be our backlights. rotate it a little bit and scale it up and move to side. Then adjust it for our likings. Hold Ctrl and move our light to make the copy. Rotate it. So now this is our left light. Adjust it. Adjust our lights. Position, size, and now we make a last front light. Move it in front of the bottle and adjust the size. Rotate it a little bit and move up so it shines from the top. Rename our lights, right, left, and top, front, and drop them all in our scene. And now you can see that it is overexposed with the light. So choose front, top, right, and left lights, and in preview tab, kill the illumination. Now it's better. So switch it off. So choose the bottle, choose material, and double click to edit it. And here in transmittance color and refraction and transmission, we can adjust our glass. So here in subsurface tab, you can change the colors and make what you need, and refraction and transmission, make what transparency you need. So edit, I will make something like that. Make the copy of our bottle. And make material, I'll choose some aluminum for now, or maybe silver. And now edit this in front view, uncheck this effect. So our label rotated, so make it at 0 rotation. And delete these points. Delete, I guess, these points, this, and uncheck this effect so we can see what's going on, and delete this point. Now choose move tool and place this point at 0, something like that. Position it. So choose pen tool and holding Ctrl, we add new point here and delete this point. We don't need this. So now we need to move a little bit these points out of the bottle so they don't overlap at the next steps. Something like that. This is good. Now back in perspective view and switch all this. You can see we have this cup. Next step, we need to make some wine in the bottle, so copy and check, and we have this path, so delete outer points and adjust inner points. Choose pen tool, hold Ctrl to add a new point and edit this point. Holding Shift, move it, move this point, so this is our wine. Uncheck bottle to see what's going on and move these points inside a little bit so they will not overlap with the bottle on the next steps. So switch on label and all other stuff. And now Redshift render view to see what's going on. Hit play. You can see we have wine inside and cup. Choose our camera and make this area render, so it will not render all scene, just our bottle, and edit. Now we will edit our bottle. So make the copy of material, drag it with the Ctrl, rename, and drop it on our wine material. Here we can edit this material to make the color of our wine. So make the color that you need for your wine. To see what's going on, you can switch off the glass and edit here and here what you need. Now we can adjust our cup material. You can adjust it here in reflectivity and metal edge tint. Choose the color. I want to make it some red, like plastic foil material. It's like, you know, this plastic view but with some metalness like foil, so I made it red and kill some reflections, make it rougher. Choose the color for the metal edge tint, something like that. And on the next step we need to make render settings. So hit this button, edit render settings, and in renderer choose Redshift. In Redshift tab you need in GI choose brute force and brute force here. All the settings stay as they are, and in basic settings you need to choose for the samples. Let's hit bucket render to see what's going on in the final render. You can see this is noisy, so increase something like 256. So you can see that the noise disappearing. and make it a little cleaner, our render, you get something like that. So at the output tab, choose your size of the final picture, and in the save you can choose your type. So I choose JPEG for now, and choose your path where you want to save and type your name. Close it and uncheck it and hit render button. So I forgot to enter the camera view. Enter and hit it again. After render, you can see your problem places. For example, here the light overexposure, and here some glow from left side light source. Now we can fix these problems. So after some editings I got this final result, and now I'll show you where I make some changes. I change material for the background. I change it to plastic and color make something like it was for the previous. And in reflections I made it rougher, because when it at 0 we can see all reflections. Well, I don't want them. This is as default for the plastic, and I make it something like 0.5. You can see that it became softer. So I change label material. I make it paper and weight of translucency 0, and I made some reflections, change from 1 to 1.5. So here I adjust a little bit size of the label and position. So at the bottle material I changed these parameters because I think it was a little bit compressed. This sphere was not very round. You can see when it's 19 and 19 it's like compressed a little bit. So I change it. Stretched out a little bit with these parameters. So adjust it for your label to make it look like you want it. So as you can see, while adjusting, your label can begin to repeat. So edit this while editing your label size. Make it bigger. Next thing, I adjust the top light, rotate it a little bit so it illuminate not only the floor but the background. On the next step I move the left light source so we don't see it on the final render as it was in the previous shot. I changed the intensity multiplier, made it 2, so the light don't look dim. I add another camera, and choose another angle for the view, made another bottle, so it's not so static. And camera, I choose tele, this one, so this has less distortions for the bottle. And that's all. If you add some simple animation, you can get something like that.